and seek the peace of the city, whether I have caused you to be carried away captives. And pray unto the Lord for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
Hallelujah.
And seek the peace of the city, whether I have caused you to be carried away captives. You may be seated. And I just want to use for a thought this morning, make the best of it. Make the best of it. Make the best of it. And we are not unfamiliar with this chapter this morning.
Amen.
We are not strangers to it. We're familiar with the words therein. They are very familiar to those who have been around a few days. But they remind us that at any given time, things can change up. And you find yourself in a predicament that even as a child of God, it can get a little uncomfortable. You find yourself in situations that sometimes you wonder if you really are a child of God. Because you're caught in the midst of something, caught in the midst of things that are just not pleasant. That's where we are in this chapter. But it's also where we are right now in this country. It feels like we're kind of caught in the middle of something. It feels like it's raining on the just as well as the unjust. Feels like whether you're a Christian or not, feels like whether you're a saint or not, whether you are Baptist, Pentecostal, AME, whatever, Catholic, Lutheran, it doesn't matter. Really, at this point, it really doesn't matter. It just seems like everybody is getting caught in the middle of what's happening. But the difference, as I said the other night, is when the righteous go through. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers them out of them all. And we have to take consolation in that this morning, that yeah, we kind of caught in the middle of this thing, and there's some reasoning behind it. But because we are the righteous of God, there's a safe place in Him we have. There's a shielding we have. There's a covering that we have. That though wars rise up, and though things come up against us, we're in that secret place. He that dwelleth there shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. We're kind of caught in the middle of an icky situation. But God gets in the middle of icky situations. Do you remember those 3 Hebrew boys that was in an icky situation? And it was seemingly like it was unfair. How can you be standing up for God? How can you be the righteous of God and doing the right thing and seem like you be put in the fire? That don't seem right. That don't seem just. Seem like the ones who are evil should be the one put in the fire. But here they was doing the right thing and got put in the fire. But then we look, and looks like God got in the fire with them. And they came out of the fire, and there was no evidence they had ever been in the fire. come to let you know this morning that when we come out of this, we're going to come out better than we went in. I don't know who needs to hear that this morning. But when you come out of this test, I come to let you know you're going to come out looking better than when you went in. As a matter of fact, there's not going to be evidence that you even had a storm. There's not even going to be any debris left. Because when God gets in the middle of something, he has a way of fixing it. Come on and tell the Lord, thank you. Here we find these people in our text this morning. They were in an icky situation. But if we be honest this morning, they got themselves in that icky situation. Lord have mercy. I believe we can all relate to that. Because we all been there, and we all sometimes, some of us here this morning are there right now. Have been guilty of putting ourselves in icky situations. But they kind of got themselves in this because of their rebellion. Because of their lack of obedience. Because of their lack of following God's lead. He had been patient with them. You know their history. He'd been kind of trying to work with them and said, don't mess with those idol gods. And don't do that. Don't mess with that. Leave that alone. Leave that alone, America. Stop that, America. Stop that. Okay, let me move on. He's trying to work with them. Don't bother that. But here they go. Dibbing and dabbing. Dibbing and dabbing. He's trying to tell Israel, stop that. Leave it alone. They stop it for a minute. They stop that for a minute. And then here they go. Easily getting back into it. And getting right back into it. And then they get so bad and bold, they would just get flashy with it from time to time. And then finally God said, enough is enough. You know what? I'm no longer going to hold Nebuchadnezzar back. Because he's been trying to get a hope to Jerusalem and Judah for a while. So I'm not going to hold him back no more. I want to let you know that there come a point in time when the Lord will release the devil. Now y'all don't like that. The devil has to have permission from God to bother us. But sometimes it gets a point when you say, okay, now I've been holding him back for so long, but you won't listen. You won't listen. And so he let the devil mess with you this and mess with you that. And then who you want to rebuke? Rebuke the devil. Rebuke the devil. But sometimes, amen, the devil's just playing with what you give him to play with. And so here we go. They kept dipping and dabbing. And finally God said, okay, that's enough. That's enough. And he issued an ordinance. He said, now, Nebuchadnezzar, you can have them. And here Nebuchadnezzar had set up a great army. They went in. And they took over Judah, took over Jerusalem, went in, led them into Babylonian captivity. And the ordinance that the Lord gave, said, you're going to stay there for 70 years. You're going to stay in there for 70 years. I don't care how much you shout. I don't care how much you cry. I don't care how much you roll on the ground. You're going to stay there for 70 years. For 70 years, you're going to have to stay there and just deal with what's going on. And now, not everybody in Israel was bad. There were some good Israelites. And that's why I started the message out like I did. Because not everybody in America is bad. There's some good Christians. There's some good, loving, God-loving Christians. I believe we got some in here this morning. Raise your hand if you really love Jesus. There's some good God-fearing people, but everybody had to go through Babylonian captivity. Everybody had to go through what was happening with the Israelites. God said for 70 years, you got to go through it. For 70 years, you got to go through it. He said, but I'm going to tell you how you get through. When you get there, you need to make good use of the time. And we see him in verse number 5. He says, when you get there, build you some houses. And dwell in them. He said, plant you some gardens. He said, and then eat the fruit thereof. Take ye some wives and get you some sons and daughters. He said, then seek the peace of the city. What he was trying to get them to see this morning. Said, yeah, you got to go through this tribulation time. You got to go through this period of unpleasantry. You got to go through a time where it's going to get a little uncomfortable. You got to go through this time, praise God, where it seems like everything is going wrong. You got to go through this time, praise God, where it seems like, praise God, the wrong is doing more wrong. But you got to make good with the time and make the best of it. Say, because it's when the city is doing good, you are doing good. He's told them, seek the peace of the city. Praise God, do good and good will happen. And so I just came with a word from the Lord to let you know on this morning. Yes, we're going through a pandemic. Yes, we're going through a trying time. Yes, we're going through a time where you don't even know if by Friday we'll be able to come out of the house. Going through a time, praise God, where you don't even know that. Praise God, if you'll be able to go to the store. But God said, don't stop living. Don't stop. Praise God, making the best of the situation. Praise God, still give it all you got. Praise God, now is the time. Praise God, to ramp up your prayer life. Now is the time. I wish y'all would help me preach. To ramp up your time with God. Now that you got a little extra time, it's the time to work on your business plan. Now is the time to get things in order that you've been putting on the shelf. Now is the time. Praise God, the things, praise God, that you left undone, that you left unfixed. He said, make peace with it. He said, because the time that you're in this thing, you don't need to let the time go wasted, but build you some houses, plant you some gardens, because the time of your captivity will soon come to an end. How do you know it's going to come to an end? Verse number 11. For I know the thoughts that I have towards you. They are thoughts of peace. Come on and shout glory. To give you an expected end. I'm getting ready to come to a close. But can you share this thought in the air? Repeat after me. Say, it won't be this bad always. But I got to make use of my time. I got to make the best of it. Hallelujah. I got to do all I can while I can. Come on and shout glory. That means, praise God, Lord, whatever I can find my hands to do, let me do it for the glory of God. Whatever I can find, my feet can find God, let me do it while I can, because this too will pass. Come on and shout glory. This too will pass. Repeat after me. This too will pass. This too will it will pass. Shout glory. It may seem like it's a disaster. It may be a federal emergency, but the Lord told me to tell you that it will be all right. It will be all right. Told me to tell you, make the best of it. Now is a good time to give him glory. Now is a good time to catch up on your word. Now is a good time to start writing in your journal. Now is a good time to write that book. Now is a good time to start that prayer group. Now is a good time to tell the Lord, if you can use anybody, you can use me. Now is a good time to let the devil know, if you was going to kill me, you should have done it before the pandemic. But I survived everything before this happened. And I'm still here. And this will not kill me. Will not kill my family. As a matter of fact, there is no weapon formed against us that shall be able to prosper. I wish I had 5 folk that could be a witness on this morning that you are victorious for a reason. You are victorious for a reason. God has you here for a reason. God has you here for a reason. You may be in this mess, but you're in this mess for a reason. You may be in a situation, but you're in the situation for a reason. You may be in a mess, but I serve a God that knows how to turn messes into miracles. Turn messes into miracles. And I just heard in the Holy Ghost that in this season, God is turning messes into miracles. I said, I heard the Lord just tell me that God is turning messes into miracles. I don't know what miracle that you need, but though your situation may be a mess, hold on. There's a miracle coming out of it. The doctor ain't gonna understand it. The lawyer ain't gonna be able to understand it. Your family ain't gonna be able to understand it. The only thing you're gonna be able to say, you did it. You did it. You did it. You did it. Do you believe the word? Give God praise. Shout this out. My mess is turning into a miracle. And this is the unique thing. You can't understand it, because miracles are not to be understood. Miracles are not to be explained. Miracles are not scientifically correct. Miracles are not politically correct. But when God gets in it, oh God, I wish I had 3 people. Oh my God. When God gets in this thing. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to keep giving. I'm going to keep coming. I'm going to keep doing what I can do. And then God's going to put his super on my natural. That's where the miracle comes in. A miracle is the supernatural power of God. So God puts his super on your natural. You got to do something. And so he told Israel, go ahead and build your houses. Plant your gardens. Lord, I thank you. I didn't even know how this was going to connect together. Go ahead and do what you can do while you're there. And then when the time comes, I'm going to step in. And I'm going to release my plans for your life. For I know your plans. Oh my God. There's some plans for your life that you haven't even got an idea about yet. Because he hasn't even given them to you. There's some plans that God has for you. He said, I know the thoughts I have for you. And the only thoughts that matter is his thoughts. It don't matter about nobody else's thoughts. It matters about his thoughts. But you got to make the best of this situation. I was thinking about the kids. They're out for 2 weeks. So that ain't the time to play video games all day. That's the time to get ahead. So when they go back, they be so smart they might keep upgrading. You make the best out of the situation. You make the best out of it. Make the best. Some folks in here lost houses, but they made the best. Some are getting better houses. The floors they got now look much better than the floors they had. You made the best out of it. But God will take his super and put it on your natural. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's pray this morning. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you for these your people. Help us, Lord, in our personal lives. We've heard your word this morning. Help us to look at our lives and see how we need to make the best out of things. Lord, it may not be like we want it to be. We may can't go everywhere we want to go and do things we want to do. But help us maximize where we are right now. Help us come disappointments and letdowns and different emotions. In the name of Jesus. Somebody here needs courage. Courage to do things. Courage to step out. Let us have that this morning. We come against the spirit of fear, anxiety, and panic. Jesus, thank you. Lord, we thank you this morning. Lord, I pray for every child, every parent. Oh God, that you will help us to make the best out of the mess. In Jesus' name. We thank you right now. Lord, if there's any sick among us, I pray they be healed. Any bound, I pray for deliverance. Somebody, Lord, may need to make a tough decision. I pray if you haven't already answered them in this service that you will give an answer. You give them peace about it. In the name of Jesus. Somebody needs an open door. Like the door they tried to walk through has closed. But now I ask that you open the door that no man can shut. In the name of Jesus. I thank you right now. Cover us all with your blood. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. I ask our ministers, staff, and our deacons to come as we pray for